What's up, fam? It's Chappell back again for Recap Kickback. And finally, to close the book on our now 4-part series on Beauty in Black. That's right. Netflix's Beauty in Black is back. Last week, we talked about part 2, the first episode of part 2, which would be episode 9. Very confusing. But today, we are going to cover the full season review. That's right. Season 1 is completely done. And we got a lot to talk about here on Recap Kickback. And with me, of course, my co-host, Mari Forth. Mari, we're back. Let's do it. You ready?
We're back. It's done. It's over with.
It was beautiful.
Dusted.
It was black.
And season 1 is in the history books. They did promise a season 2. Now I don't know if we can promise our season 2.
Well, look, whether we get a season 2 or not. Well, look, I'll put it like this: if we get a season 2, this person will be back to join us, as this is their favorite show on Netflix right now. Matt Scott, welcome back.
I didn't know that it was confirmed for a season 2.
Okay,
are you
y'all,
kidding?
It literally said it at the end.
No, I did not.
It needs to be. I'm invested. I'm invested. I'm in. I'm sorry. I'm in.
Really?
Did you get the end? After the ending, you don't want to know what comes next. Stop playing with me.
I'm okay with it being over if it's over. You know what I mean? But if it's on, it's on. We're on. So yeah, I'll be here.
Look. Thank you all for listening to Recap Kickback and for joining us every week. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/@recapkickback. Hit that subscribe button and join the community as we talk about these wild and crazy shows, especially shows like Beauty in Black, because as I said, we've taken 4 different podcasts to break down this show in its entirety. And now we really get to talk about it as we end this first season with a sort of a cliffhanger. So to say that maybe there's room for a season 2. We will talk about all of that and more today as we cover the entire season. And let's just go ahead and jump in. Mari, the season is done. Overall, what did you think about Beauty in Black?
Okay, overall, what I think is I should not have started watching Beyond the Gates, because when you see a soap opera, I'm sorry, when you see a soap opera done right, and then you have to go back and watch Beauty in Black, it's just hard to get through. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow,
it really was. You got to watch Beyond the Gates.
We do got to watch Beyond the Gates. Matt says, no, I need my soap operas.
And then you'll see what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah. You will see what I'm talking about if you watch. No, it's honestly, it's just hilarious. It's just unintentionally funny. Some of the dynamics, I was like, what is happening? We talked about Kimmy being the equalizer last week. Then again, and then this week she went back to get her ass beat. Like, it's just it was a ride for sure. It was a ride.
Matt Scott, you have not been watching Beyond the Gates, so I'm assuming this is prestige television for you right here.
You know me too well, Chappell. I loved Beauty in Black. It's the right amount of mess. Like, it just makes me happy. It lights up my heart. I can't wait to talk about it. I hate to say it, I can't wait to watch season 2 unless you're trolling me. I really hope they won't bring back. How do you get season 2 out of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's watching it like that? Like, who wants to watch this? I mean, I do, but ironically, is everyone watching it ironically, or?
I don't know. Watching it ironically. Let me check the chatters.
Well, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. Here's my hot take. Part 1 was so crazy, wacky, and just I just didn't know which way was up when it came to the show. I feel like part 2 is better. I feel like part 2 cleaned it up a little bit. I feel like Tyler had a few months. Remember how much just like random sex and stuff was happening in part 1? Like, they were just fucking for no reason. We had a woman with failed ass shots get put in the hospital. Blood clots were attacking her ass and her heart. All that stuff is from the first 8 episodes. All that stuff is from the first 8 episodes.
But you said they cleaned it up, but like
A bit.
I think to its detriment because I
Exactly that.
like the
Yes.
mess. Like
Yes.
where is it?
Yes.
Oh,
Where was
you
it?
I would say
It was
you
there.
Negroes, you just can't please you Negroes. When you give it all a bad quality, you're like, oh, I don't like this. Tyler Perry, clean it up, and then he cleans it up. You're like, well, maybe not that much. Maybe don't clean it up.
Well,
Maybe-
no, like leave it messy. Leave it really messy. Because here's my
Yes.
thing. When did Beauty and Black turn to General Hospital? Like, what are we doing? Why is everyone in the hospital all of a sudden?
Thank you.
For
Thank
all
you, Matt.
different reasons.
Yeah.
for all
And
different
it
reasons.
says it's been renewed for season 2. Like it's confirmed
Yep.
it's been renewed for season 2.
And
Okay.
we are
can
renewed for season 2 as well.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna put it out there because we talked about it. Tyler, Mr. Perry,
Mr. Perry,
please
P.
make us the official podcast of Beauty
got to.
in Black.
Let us do this.
We
Please
love this show.
pay
We've
us
been
to do
saying
it as
great.
well.
We've been saying amazing things about this show since the
Amazing
beginning. We
is a
haven't been
good
saying
word.
anything about you being homophobic, anything about you being, misogynistic, racist.
Also racist, yeah.
We haven't not at all. And
We haven't mentioned those
we're here.
things at all.
No,
Somebody-
we wouldn't.
Somebody in Blue Sky said, "How long is Rain gonna be drowsy in this hospital bed?"
All she know how to do is lay there in that
Oh,
hospital
season.
bed. That's it. Now,
But she's on
mind
and
you,
off, like on
there
and off. Drowsy.
hasn't-
Wild.
But there hasn't been that much time that has passed, and I think that's really the underrated thing is that like it's only been like 5 days. It's like so she can't really get around. But we'll talk about Rain and we'll talk about all these people and how we ended up at the end of season 1. But yes, if season 2 is back, you bet your sweet ass we will be back as well to talk about it. And yeah,
Blood
I had to
clots.
start with this. Yeah, blood clots.
Mhm.
When we last left off, we were talking about what was to come, and you all informed me that there was something crazy where there's a car that's gonna flip and somebody's gonna get speared through a window and all this other stuff. And when I tell you, watching it, I still was shocked to see that somebody was speared through the window by Kimmy little ass. And so I would love to talk about how
Same.
we got to this point. Would you say same?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
And again-
even now.
And again, it took them 2 episodes to realize he fell out of the window. And not only did it take them 2 episodes to figure out that he fell out of the window, because they didn't discover that he fell out of the window until episode 14, even though it happened in episode 12.
That's right.
He was on the 39th floor. We talked about it. They were on the 39th
Yeah.
floor. He fell to the balcony below. I was
Okay,
Yeah.
no, but let's be clear. That was like the 36th floor.
Yeah, it was a few floors. It was a few
They
floors
made it
though.
seem-
I don't think I'd make it.
And he fell, and they Roy fell through to the next balcony. What Calvin was like, let's call an ambulance. Mallory's like, get his ass up. Like, we need to call an ambulance. Get his ass up. I'll bring the car over. Calvin jostles this man down another 36 flights of stairs
Okay,
and puts him in
look,
the car.
We're,
How did he survive this?
we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. Let's take it back.
We
even
are.
further.
I'm sorry.
We start off in episode, I guess 10 or 10 with
13.
Olivia.
Wait, where are
Wait,
we?
yeah, we're in the
going-
second half. We
We
did
went
episode
through
9 and
We
10.
went
Okay, so
through
we're at
10.
episode 11. Episode 11.
Yeah.
Chappell, we did
Yes.
talk through 11 and 12.
Yes,
you
but I
didn't
do want
watch
to touch on the
wants
plot
to
of it.
talk
Y'all tell me about
his-
the crazy parts, but we
Please.
do have to talk about the plot. So Olivia does end up kind of admitting in these moments that she set up Horace and was trying to rob him, as y'all so eloquently described. She made this man get inside a bag so that she could kill him. And it was the way she said,
Hell.
whoopsie daisy, get in the bag. That took me down. That was the moment. Come on now.
And he got
get the bag.
in. He got in.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This one way to avoid the cleanup situation is just to make them bag themselves up before you kill them. I didn't see a huge issue with this. Maybe make them, as Mari said, make them kill you. Don't just get in the bag. What was the point?
I'm telling you, I'm throwing the biggest fit. Like, I'm running around the room. I'm rolling on the floor. I'm not getting in this bag. Like, you don't have to put me in this bag.
I'm doing zigzags.
Yeah. Like, why does anybody just like try to hold her hostage? Like grab Olivia and like just choke her and be like, y'all, let me out of here. Something. No,
She's
he was in
old.
love with her. She is old. we will see that that's not going to stop her
No,
from doing any of the debauchery that is going to come. Um,
nothing.
No.
this criminal organization, though, this is going to be a huge problem because one of the underlying things we have of part two of season one is that this will and testament left by the grandfather about this company, Beauty and Black, is going to be contingent on a few things. The people in the family cannot get a felony, and there cannot be any misconduct or whatever around their deaths in order for them to seize this money. And so
Can I
throughout, they
just
have to figure
say,
out a way.
Please.
What's up?
it's so funny that all of a sudden this will thing happens in part two.
And it's
We
oddly
didn't hear
specific too.
a damn thing about this will
Mhm.
in part one, but whatever, it's fine.
That very specific language is going to keep certain people out of this if they don't figure it out. Okay. And so, like, for
Mm.
instance, if they're running a
Mhm.
criminal organization, they would not be subject to their earnings out of the will. Matt, this makes total sense.
Typical. Yeah, no,
Right.
that's what my family has for my
That's
$376
right.
million inheritance. So, I
Mhm.
get it.
Mm-hmm. Several people are on the loose throughout this second half as well. One being Angel, who for some reason Jules just needs to track down. I think Angel it's been found out that Angel has stolen Horace's watch. And so when it gets to Norman, this was a very interesting conversation that I will point out is that Norman was very, very shocked that some man named Angel had stolen Horace's watch because he said, "Oh, watches to him are like how my wife is to me." And I just thought, that's a very
He did
interesting way
say
to look
that,
at a
didn't
watch.
he?
Yeah.
I,
You
I
care
didn't
that much
catch
about your watch.
that.
Especially since
Interesting.
you've been still killing people for 14 episodes now over this wife of
Blind
yours.
rage, Mari. He said it's blind rage. He said it for 4 times. That should give him like enough clearance to where we should be like, all right, we understand.
Yeah, wait,
Blind
what's
rage.
what's Horace doing with his watches?
I don't know, but he loves them a lot. He loves them like this man loves his watch. I mean, like his wife. And Norman really loves his wife. I don't. He ever actually says anything about her, and we know he cheated on her. But we do know he did cheat on her with his sister-in-law. Yes, comma, but he really, really loves her, and so we know that Horace is going to stop at nothing to get this watch back. Even though the watch isn't really the issue, right? Angel is just like the connective tissue to Kimmy, who is the connective tissue to all of the drama. Is that what's going on?
Right.
Mhm.
And it's like they just couldn't find the link. Like they still didn't realize that Horace knew about the club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's weird how much they know and then also how much they don't know at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's really convenient how even like I don't know, it's just so much. We'll get into it, but it's hilarious to me. I mean, I think it comes up in some of the episodes we talked about, right? But like anytime people mention body, they're like, "You ran over a what?" And it's like, no, that's your
What
name.
body? Where's the body? It's like, no, it was a human named
Yeah,
body.
what disrespect to her. I can't believe she's RIP. I've been missing her since episode 9. I guess she officially died.
Yeah, because
Due to
Felicia
our-
wasn't doing it. Felicia wasn't doing it for me.
Boo! I disagree. We're gonna get to Felicia in a second. Step up, Queen. She's next up.
That was ridiculous.
So let's focus a little bit on the Kimmy storyline. I think that is the big deal here. Kimmy is on the rampage. She needs to find out what the hell happened to Sylvie. It turns out Sylvie actually is getting sex trafficked. She's already she got a wig on. They about to put her on the pole. And she's got a new handler, Felicia Mari. You didn't like Felicia?
No, like she's like, come on, bitch. She's like, wait till Bonnie and Delinda get here. It's like, where are they? She's like, I don't
lady,
know.
they dead. I don't know. I don't like. But then she said, "Give me Kimmy's number." I don't like her.
She's like, get in the car, bitch. I was just like, Felicia, you are not. This is above your pay grade. Clearly, you are not good at being
Clearly.
anybody's bottom bitch at all. Real bad at that.
Wow. I love that you see potential in her.
I do not. I see no potential.
She says no potential.
Wow.
But she was really trying to step into that role while Kimmy is trying to rescue Sylvie from the strip club. Very, Sin City, Jessica Alba movie back in the day where she had to get rescued from the strip. I was getting vibes, Jocelyn Hernandez also rescued from the strip club. It's a thing that happens in media these days. And so while that's happening, Angel's on the loose, and they're really trying to pin him down as well. Now we meet these two off-duty cops who are like henchmen I guess it's
Yeah.
Alex and
Yeah.
Trax.
Yeah.
They seem to
Was it
come
Trax?
out of Traxon, I think his
Nowhere.
name was.
I thought his name
Traxon?
was Jackson. Okay.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought Traxon.
I think it was
Traxton.
Traxon.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they come out of the blue and they're like they're these new henchmen that we gotta have to keep an eye on because they're the one
Yeah.
we're trying to lock down Angel and really get a hold of him. And he ends up getting arrested by these fake cops, Matt. And I thought like Angel thought he was going to jail. But eventually they're
Yeah.
like, no, we're just dropping you off so that Horace can interrogate you about Kimmy and about your watch. Now, this interrogation between Horace and Angel to me was one of the funniest scenes ever because Angel hops out the car and his instinct is, okay, Horace wants me in a sexual way. I should start to act like a submissive, so that he doesn't kill me or something like that. So I think Horace says I finally got you. He's like, you gonna take me to jail? He's like, you thought I was gonna take you to jail? He said, only if you want to. It's like, wait, okay, stop. That's not sex. Stop it. I'll go wherever you want, Diddy. I was like, bro, like, you're in danger, Angel. Stop playing games.
Also, can I also just mention that Angel is a horrible stripper? Like,
he's the worst.
Absolutely.
Wait, yes. Can we just bring up what the hell is he wearing? He's wearing like
shorts,
board
biker shorts.
Board shorts, barely moving, clearly distracted.
Capris, basically. Like,
I was like, if you don't get your stiff behind off this stage.
No,
he's like,
Horace
what are you doing?
Yeah.
God.
Horace was like, Horace obviously knows who Angel is. He knows that Angel's a part of this. Angel knows who Horace is, but Horace was not aware that Angel was familiar with Horace's estate. That he's a part of this big family. He says, "You know who I am?" And Angel, of course, still in character, says, "You my daddy, right?" Angel.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't you do the same thing? Or is it
no,
just me?
Angel, start talking. Like you're in danger. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm just saying, not a bad place to start. Like, it didn't hurt him.
Yeah, well, we find out that his shenanigans might have hurt him a little bit because Horace admits that he was going to put Angel and Kimmy in a home. He was like, that house that we got shot up, that was going to be for y'all. I was going to let y'all live there. And I was thinking, why? Why?
Yeah, I didn't follow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and he was like, we can still do that.
We can still do that,
Angel. I did feel bad for Angel this whole drop. Like he was getting punked left and right. Poor baby.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And even like this whole thing, they were in that lot for a long time having that conversation. Like, I feel like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the sun set at one point. Like,
yeah,
they're still there. He's still handcuffed.
I need somebody out there to do a timeline for me because
please.
What like these last 4 episodes themselves had to have taken place in a 24
I think I'm about to say in roughly 2 days, roughly, like not 48 whole hours, but like a course of like a 24-hour lifespan. Yeah, they were in that parking garage for a long time because Angel ends up telling Horace everything. He gives the whole rundown, like, hey, Kimmy is very trustworthy. Horace is like, no, she's a whore. She can't be trustworthy. He's like, no. She's not a real whore. I just had her sex trafficked because I was like, I'm just awful like that. I just be playing. And so eventually they're doing like, okay, Horace now knows what's going on, and he's going to try to assist Kimmy because he's now finding out about the dark underbelly of the Bellari family fortune and all that good stuff, and the Beauty and Black Corporation. There was another moment too where I want to say he called Angel a little penny ass nigga who tried to steal his wallet or something like that. It's like, hey, bro, like, and then he looked at him in disgust and was like, I can't believe I had a crush on you. I was like, all right, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? I
was so confused. Again, I'm still confused why Horace was so mad at them at this point when they literally had everything that he needed to, like, turn the wheel, like get people out of the wheel. But he eventually came around to that. I just didn't understand why he had to be so aggressive before.
Yeah, and then like I'm just also confused about the fact, like, where the hell did his cough go? This man is sick.
It'll be back.
And off. Yeah, but he was like pretty healthy for part 2, I have to say.
He was
really
very
was.
healthy in part 2, and then all of a sudden he pissed on himself. But we'll get there. Kimmy and Rain talk, and she's on the phone with Rain, and she's like, Kimmy's like, Rain, I gotta go pull up on Roy. He knows where Sylvie is. I know he does. I already told him I'm on the way. And Rain's like, no, girl, don't go. Come to the hospital. He's like, no, I'm gonna do it anyway. And she does it anyway. She goes to Roy, and she, as y'all have outlined, she asked Roy like 15 times, where is Sylvie? You know where Sylvie is. Tell me where my sister is. Roy has no clue who this woman is. She does not know anything about this daughter, this sister.
His mind.
Well, he's just never met Sylvie. He doesn't. He just actually doesn't know.
But also, I just feel like Kimmy needs to work on her approach, because saying my sister, like have a picture of her, like maybe
have you seen this woman?
Or go check the club to see if she's there, like the one place that she probably most likely would be. So I'm just saying, like, some notes for Kimmy.
Yeah. Also, another note: don't call Roy by his name, because it's gonna make him very upset. He's like, who told you my name? And so he can't get past the fact that she actually knows who he is, and he's not some just like unknown suitor that she's been hooking up with. And the two begin to fight. She slaps him, busts him upside the head with a bottle. For a second, I was like, okay, Kimmy, you got him. Like, put him down. He fights back. Kimmy starts getting rocked. The equalizer was not there, but Mari, the spear heard around the world.
Yes.
She tackled this man through the window. It didn't go through the window with him. She just pushed him with enough force for him to go through the window and for her to remain up on the balcony. I just knew this man was dead. She thought he was dead.
I was hoping he was dead. Like, his character adds absolutely nothing to the show. It really doesn't. Like, he truly could have died right there, and we would have been all good for it. Because the only thing that he adds to this show is the asinine freaking fights he has with his wife. Oh, you shut the fuck up. I know you fucking him. Like, just random stuff that he says.
Yeah, no, what a mess. Like, the thing is, we'll get back around to him finally being found, but this fight is so intense. I just have to say, Kimmy knows how to take a hit. Like, that's one thing. I mean, I should say, Roy's taking his own kind of hits, but Kimmy knows how to take a hit, and we love that for her. Like, Mari, I think, like, in wrestling terms, she's probably up there with, like, Alexa Bliss, between, like, Alexa Bliss and, like, Sasha Banks in terms of selling. Like, I'm just saying.
Bliss doesn't sell. She knocked herself out on accident.
I'm just saying. Well, Kimmy got knocked all over the place.
At one point, the point where they had like taken Kimmy back into the club near the end, and she was like struggling. She's like, she was just like flinging her hair around. I was like,
so awkward.
Oh my god. At some point, Kimmy heads back to the hotel. Okay, now she's caught wind of the different parts of this plan. She's been getting chased around town by the henchmen, but she ends up back at the hotel, and so does Angel. He manages to run to the hotel handcuffed somehow. I'm not quite sure how or he got there. I'm assuming he called an Uber. The key was in his bag. I don't know.
Yeah, wait. You see it? What are we doing? No explanation.
He was left in a parking garage in a random location. Horace left him for dead, and yet he still managed to make it back to the hotel right after Kimmy, who does have a car. So somehow he did this. He gets her to unlock him. I do not know.
That was an acronym. Okay, never mind. Keep going.
Acrimony. Oh yeah, no. Boo. Anyway, so he gets to the hotel. Him and Kimmy meet up again for the first time in a while. She unlocks him, and then there's a knock at the door. It's Jules. Jules, who has been hot on their trail the whole time. He comes in, and Angel's last words to Kimmy are, Kimmy, get under the bed. I was like, okay, she's under the bed. Jules comes in, is she under the bed? And shoots the beds. I said, she's dead. She's dead. Y'all got her. Only to find out that she's not under the bed. She is in the armoire, I guess.
Yeah,
the most obvious. I did want her to be behind like the curtain up against the window.
She's behind the body-shaped cabinet that she just happened to slip right into. But Jules finds out basically nothing. Angel's been trying to keep it on the low. He's the leaky faucet here. Rain obviously never going to tell anybody anything because she's a bad bitch, as Horace would say. But somehow Kimmy manages to survive this. She calls Rains and asks about everything that's going on. And Kimmy tells her, like, hey, I pushed Roy out the window. And Rain is like, can you just come visit me? You need to calm down. But while she's on the phone with Rain, she hears in the background, Horace has appeared at the hospital because he's there to question Rain and get everything he knows. So Kimmy, of course, seeing that Rain might be in trouble with Horace there, she walks out of the hotel room right into the arms of the henchman who was looking for her. The whole reason we're hiding at the hotel, Kimmy, is because people are looking for you. Why did Horace, the only human who's done anything kind to you, flush you out of your hiding spot? I don't really know.
But
let me just bring this up that like Angel and Kimmy separately went back to that hotel room. So they each thought it was a good idea to go back to that hotel room. And what did they even leave? Like they didn't pick up anything.
Nope.
Like they didn't
just there.
Nothing.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, they did.
What a choice.
I mean, maybe it was like their designated meeting spot. They found each other there. I mean, it did fuck all, but at least they knew they were able to regroup for a second. And why is Rain like the dispatcher? Like she throughout this part, she can't get out of the bed, so she's just 911 dispatching everybody different. Go here, go there.
Yeah, she knows people's numbers too.
But they never listen to her. They don't. Kimmy, don't go to the hotel. I'm still going. Girl, don't do that. I'm going to tell them. Promise me you won't. Okay, I promise. You coming to the hotel? You coming to the hospital right now? I'll be there in an hour. Okay, if you're not here in an hour, I'm going to call. Then the next moment, she's like, girl, you didn't come. She's like, yeah, I went to the hotel anyway. It's like, Rain, you're not doing nothing. You're not accomplishing anything. But she's a vault. She's not going to tell Horace anything. And so he has to come in and threaten her. He's like, the thing about blood clots is that, they can kill you at any moment. And death is always waiting for you. You want to die? And she said, who wants to die? I said, that's real. That is so real. But because he cannot get the information out of her, he does have to resort to some enhanced interrogation techniques. Matt pokes her in the booty.
Yes. He just was like needling her with the cane, like, oh, come on. I know.
Like,
like,
she's like, ah!
My ass.
I'm kind of upset we didn't get more of that because it makes no sense. Like Horace is he's evil still at this point, like getting even more evil. And I'm so confused.
That was so funny.
Because why was he doing that to her BBL? And question, will her BBL be uneven because it was just on the one side?
I think it's going to be uneven for a lot of reasons. I think that the fact that they injected her with this random foam from Home Depot automatically led me to believe there was going to be a little
asymmetry going on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Michelle said that about Carly Rae ass. She said, "Boo, boo, boo, your deflated ass." That's kind of the same energy it's giving me, y'all. So I don't know. I don't have faith in this BBL, Matt, at all.
I do feel like the hospital, though, like, the Belleries probably have some good insurance. Because I'm assuming that the club didn't have insurance for these girls. So I'm just saying, like, maybe she was able to get an upgrade in there.
I was like, we all going to this private hospital. Do y'all got insurance?
Private
insurance? Because I know it's expensive.
I mean, that might not be a problem later, but we'll get there.
Okay, so next up we have, obviously Kimmy got snatched outside of her hotel because she's just dumb and she ran outside, and they really need to find out who killed Jules's two bottom bitches, and because he needs them to run his front. And obviously if Kimmy has killed them, then there's going to be a big hole, not like the holes in Rain's ass, but there's going to be a big old hole in the operation. Angel ends up going to the club. He's on a mission. This is where we get more man ass, as y'all said. We're back at the strip club, and
I love it.
It's been a long time since part one, but we're back, baby. We got strippers in here, half naked, and there's this one stripper who really is upset that he missed out on robbing Charles
Mm.
He's just kind of like, hey, Angel, remember that guy who stole that Lambo who used to work here? Whatever happened to him? Angel's like, I don't know. I think he's dead. He's like, oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the Lambo blew up, but can we still rob him? I have his address. And he's very hell bent on robbing him.
I'm like, he did. Like, do you not? You really
Like,
want those problems?
you
Like, I don't.
again?
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth the risk, right?
Is it?
Everyone, I mean, everyone here's like, I don't know his situation. Look at what Kimmy's
Oh,
doing. That's
he
like the
might be sex
least
trafficked, too.
insane, probably. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Or not.
However,
Please.
you know that Salvo went there to rob that dude, but Salvo not here no more. And Angel tell you Salvo died.
Okay, but if
He
you
says,
think,
well, he
Yeah.
left Salvo for dead. He was like, oh, yeah, the car blew
yeah.
up, Angel, and I left him there. Angel said, excuse me?
Right.
You
You're
left
right,
him?
you're
He's
right.
like,
Yeah.
what you want me to do? I had to come to work.
but see, what are the odds? You know, like what
Would it
are the
happen
odds
twice?
that's going to happen again? I don't think so. Think
I think
about it.
they might
Math.
be really high. They might be really high. This is tough.
They are right.
Kimmy ends up questioning Jules' henchman en route to wherever he's going to take her. And she's just kind of like, I need to know, obviously, where Sylvie is, but nobody does. Nobody knows anything about this girl. It's like Body and Delinda stole her and did not inform the rest of the operation. It was kind of like she's just their personal hostage, because no matter who Kimmy goes to, they're always like, what sister? Who are you talking about? Who the hell is Sylvie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Kimmy's fed up. So she finally, as y'all have outlined, put her seatbelt on. This man looks at her and says, you putting your seatbelt on, are you trying to flip the car? And she's like, no.
Okay, wait. So she was kidnapped,
hmm
somehow got in the car in the front seat.
He put her in
and
the
he just
front seat.
drove?
He put her in the front seat and drove
So she didn't
her.
like this
No.
this family, because let's remember when Sylvie was kidnapped, she didn't try to jump out a wide open car door, and she
But-
probably wasn't wearing a seatbelt
But
either.
Matt, she
Yeah.
telegraphed her whole move. Like,
She leaned over like this.
he
He was like fumbling for the buckle, like.
when he literally said, "You're not gonna try and flip the car," she's like, "No."
And he like,
speeds up.
Yeah. And he speeds up. She said, why are you driving so fast? And then she grabs the mace and she maces him and flips the car. They spin off the road. The car flips. The next episode starts with them underneath the car trying to get out of this car that's on fire. And she is still macing him. They're in the car. She's like,
She did, where did the mace come from? Mari.
Yeah, if she had mace this whole time, why hasn't she used it thus far? Lady, you should be leading with the mace.
Where's she been keeping it? Like, yeah, please.
I would be coming outside the hotel like with the mace out like it's a gun. Like get back.
Dear
I'm just so
Lord.
bad. That literally is something one of my kids do. It's like you say, "You're not about to do this, right?" And they're like, "No." And literally 2 seconds later, not 2 seconds later, they do exactly what you tell them not to do. Oh my god.
He said, "Why you put your seatbelt on? You about to grab the wheel?"
Because even then, like, the seatbelt's not going to help that much, right?
No.
I mean, but
It saved her life. It saved him. He survived too, so they both survived.
Yeah, they both survived.
She was able to pull herself out of the wreckage right as another car was so just generously passing by, and this woman stopped to save this young Black woman from being sex trafficked. And what does Kimmy do to repay her? She steals her car and potentially kidnaps her dead father. So there's that too.
That woman should have given her the car, honestly. A true ally would have given Kimmy the car.
I mean, she basically did. She didn't put up much of a fight.
Honestly, when that lady pulled over, I was like, if you don't jump in that car, that was the one thing I really agreed with Kimmy. I was like, yeah, get in that car.
Yeah.
Bring the lady. Why are you leaving that woman behind? Take her with you. Lady,
why
we
would
have
you
to
stop
go.
your car if you have a dead body in it? Like,
no, wait.
I think
the body might have been
dying.
alive.
Yeah,
I
think it was dying. Yeah, I think it was dying.
On the way, still breathing.
Yeah. But we don't know that, and
so
Kimmy doesn't know that.
I feel like that is definitely going to be a season 2 plot point. Like,
yeah,
we know because
Yeah, but we don't know this. Kimmy doesn't know this, but there's a second party in the car, and he's just hanging out in the back. But we'll get to him a little bit later.
She never looked back there.
He never checked the back seat. I mean, she really had a reason to check the back seat per se.
It's right there. It's right there.
She's a little busy. She's a little busy.
So,
I'll say.
You know what? I'll give her that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Kimmy was really good at taking punches and just getting away from people.
She was good at escape, but she was good at getting caught too. And I think that's something that we can't not give her credit for. Like, she also was getting caught left and right. Okay. Let's talk about Jules a little bit. Jules is being contacted by everybody because that seems to be everybody's third line, and every line of the script is, have you called Jules? Have you talked to Jules? Don't call Jules. Make sure you call Jules. Somebody call Jules. Jules is getting run all over the place because he's trying to track down Kimmy and Angel and Body and Delinda and figure out everything that's going on while the Belleries are doing all their shenanigans in the background. It's also getting to Jules that there might be some underhanded stuff going on. He's seemingly in the pocket of Norman, who we haven't really talked about a lot yet. But Norman, he's not very present in this because he's still trying to get to the bottom of who actually killed his wife. At some point, Mari, he goes to Debo. And he tracks him down and he says, Debo, did you kill my wife? And Debo emphatically says, yes. Yes, I did. At least 20 times, I'd say.
He did. Yeah, he did.
So confused.
I think Debo was confused too.
Yeah, he was very high.
But he said he wasn't.
Right. But then I think Jules put the fear of God into him so much that he thought that was the truth.
He thought it was a test.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
He's like,
that's right.
He comes in. He like, okay. Norman comes in. He's like, you Debo, right? Yeah, I'm Debo. Cool. Debo, tell me what you know. He's like, I can't tell you what I know. It's like, what do you know? I don't know anything. It's like, okay, but like, seriously, tell me what you know. No, I can't tell you. Do you know who I am? You're Jules. He's like, I'm not Jules. He's like, oh shit. Jules sent you. He's like, no, but I do need to know what you know. Did you kill my wife? Yes. You killed my wife. Yes. Are you sure you killed my wife? Like, you're positive you killed my wife? You're trying to get me to talk, aren't you? I am, and I want to know if you killed my wife. He stops for a second, and Norman pulls out his enhanced interrogation techniques. And it has a blade. He has like a screwdriver. Like, he's about to torture this out of Debo. And I don't think Debo knows that he should not be lying anymore. Like, you should definitely be telling Norman exactly what he wants to know. But you're right. Jules got him shook. Norman will eventually get the news out of Debo, and will go tell Olivia, I guess, later on that this is happening. I think Olivia is his one ally. It seems like he just pops up at the foot of her bed mat at some point and just like wakes her up. Why does she sleep with the gun under her covers?
I'm so sure. See, she needs the pepper spray, like
she needs the mace.
Yeah. Right in the face. No, that was creepy and weird. I started to lose the plot at that point because he wasn't trying to kill her. He was like, "Hey, I have some good news. I'm not mad." You know what I mean? Like,
wait, I need you to forgive me. I didn't mean to kill Charles. I even know he's not dead, but I tried. But like, blind rage? Question mark.
Can you believe?
Yeah, please.
We went 16 episodes and none of them died. Like, none of the main characters died.
No,
and Body. Again, some of them should have. Well, I mean, Bonnie and Belinda, but none of the main like family characters. You know.
Yeah, not yet. Season 2. Yeah. So Norman does go to Olivia, and he's able to tell her that he has found out that she was trying to rob Horace, and also he needs her forgiveness because, you know, he did try to kill Charles. Olivia is not very moved by that. She's actually kind of rude about it. I mean, it's typical Olivia at this point. It's just she's not really having it. What do you think about this performance for throughout this season about Olivia Mari? She really comes into her own as just like, I don't know. She almost tangential to the family. Like, she's not in the drama, but she's like the other one that knocks, right? Like, they know not to F with her.
Yeah, Debbie Morgan does a phenomenal job here. It's because like we forget, because of in part 1, she is mad at the family. She was technically like screwed out of the family. Like when she divorced Horace, like I think she still like No, she said they took her shares from her, something like that. That's why she's mad at Horace. That's why she wants Horace dead, so that she can get his shares or something like that. Like she all she cares about is her sons. Son up.
Well,
I know, like,
yeah.
and I don't even know if she loves Charles or just loves like berating him. Like,
come on.
you know,
Yeah, these people are incapable of loving. It came up earlier. They don't know how to love. Like, let's
yeah,
be real.
but that's the thing. She's not on Horace's side. She's not on Norman's side. Like, she was the main one who was like, if Norman's coming at me, we're like, she was trying to warn everybody about Norman. So she kind of is like, it's just like three mafia bosses, like Horace, Norman, and her. But Norman's trying to make amends because he's like, enemy of my enemy is my friend. But even she's like, nah. I will never forget that you tried to kill my son. Like, so she's like, let's stop with all the BS. Let's stop pretending. Just one of us is always gonna come after each other. Like, it's just gonna happen.
But she said, I'm better than you because I'm a woman.
Right. Like, she's like, I'll wait all day and then I'll strike when you least expect. I'm like, this beef runs deep. Like,
it really does.
God, you should have gotten that little kit out to, like, screwdriver.
The little torture kit.
Yeah, why not? Norman, he had the gloves already.
Well, he did have a moment with Harold as well. Harold was his judge buddy, who we know Harold is in on a lot of the stuff that's going on the inside, and Norman did too. But his biggest issue here, you can sum up Norman really in one line. It's like he's really upset about his wife. Like that's about it.
My wife is dead. They killed my wife.
They killed my wife.
That man is terrifying. I'm sorry. He's the scariest character in this season, in the series. Like, I just can't, because the way that he just like goes from 0 to 100 in like no time, because he should just be chill. Like, no one's really bothering him. Yes, his wife was killed. We get it, but he doesn't need to be in the drama. But he makes the drama.
He is in the drama. He gonna make himself in there. I mean, he does eventually even threaten Harold's family, his daughter, his wife. He's like, if you don't help me with my wife thing,
how did he do that?
He's the main sex trafficker too. Like,
yeah, that is true. He's
the scary one. Yeah, you're right. He's the scary one. If anybody's gonna like Horace seems like a bad guy, but Norman is out here doing like some pretty heinous things.
Right. Like Horace, is it weird? Like, we do get, especially from part 1, it's like we do get that like kind of softer side of Horace with like him and Angel and Kimmy, and then we get the like hard part of him when he's with his family. Like, I fucking hate my son. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, but to me, Horace is one of the only characters of that family that shows like a softer side, which is so weird. Yeah,
but
and it's just soft. Like, it's not soft.
Exactly. And they're all horrible, but he's like the least horrible, maybe, ? I don't know. Actually, he's probably not even the least horrible in that family. Like, look at Charles. What's Charles doing?
I think he is. Well,
really?
Charles. Charles isn't doing. We'll get to Charles. I was like, Charles isn't doing anything criminal, but he definitely sucks. He definitely sucks.
Does. Well, that's true.
Yeah. Well, he's We'll get to that too. So let's go back to the club. Angel gets out, and Dustin is like, "Hey, look, we're still gotta rob this man." There he is. Horace is back at the club. He's there because he's trying to. Charles is at the club. Charles has made his way to the club. Charles has had a very fun role in this second half of the season because he's back, but he doesn't seem too concerned with the family drama. Varney, his lover, is there, and I really just want Varney to stand up. Like, I think
honestly
through his entire season, if I came away with nothing, Varney, love yourself for the love of God. Charles don't care about you. He don't like you. This man don't
care about himself.
Yeah.
Varney came to Charles' house, and Charles said, "Come on in, but also you got to leave soon. I'm having sex with someone else." Barney's like, "Well, look, they're trying to cut you out the wheel. Something's going on. Your dad's making some weird moves. You got to listen to me." And Charles like, "No, actually, you got to listen to me. I'm going to go have sex. You sit here and just make sure you listen to it." as he does exactly that. And Barney did not move. He just listened to the
Yeah.
coitus.
Yeah, and it didn't even seem like he enjoyed it. So, like, why did he stay? You
No.
know what I mean?
Why
Like, go
did you
take a
stay?
walk around the block, whatever.
love, your,
But
love yourself, King.
that,
Please stand up.
yeah, but you know what? If you really think about that, kind of is like a power move. Like, oh, you thought I would leave? Well, I'm just gonna sit here and listen
No,
to
it's
the
not.
whole
No, it's
thing.
not. We
You
cannot flip
know,
that. You cannot
right, Mari?
reclaim being
Right, Mari?
cucked.
Isn't that
You
kind of
cannot
a power
reclaim
move?
that. No. No. Mari,
No.
no. No.
I
No.
mean, okay,
No.
good
No.
to know.
No.
So Charles has to talk to Varney because Varney has some information. Roy has been poking around. He thinks he's onto something. And he says, I think that Varney has been sleeping with Mallory. Now, we know he is way far off base. Mallory has been actively trying to make Calvin, her bodyguard, jealous by hugging Varney. But that's it. That's all she did was hug Varney. Roy has seen enough. He knows for a fact now. He's seen it with his eyes. He said, I saw them. I saw them having sex. He said that. I saw them. He did not see them. He lied. He is lying. But he said, I saw them. I know it for a fact. She is having sex with Varney. So Varney has to go reveal this information to Charles. And so now Charles does not believe Varney. He's like, Varney, you obviously are having sex with my sister-in-law. It makes total sense.
I'm like, huh? He was having sex with you? What?
I don't know.
No.
But you know what? It could happen. You know, I don't know.
But yes, but Charles, like, he's clearly, like, Varney's clearly sprung off Charles. He's sitting here listening to you have sex. So why would you? Charles got in his little pissy jealous bag, like, you are fucking my sister-in-law. No, he's here with you.
But even if he was, like, what's your problem with that? Like, Charles doesn't seem to me like he has standards. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so why is this a why is this a deal breaker for you?
Like, maybe it was in his car that blew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could have been it. Like, that would piss him off.
He said, Varney, it sounded like something you would do because you would do anything to. I was like, this is really rude for you to be said to the man, the one person who was sad when he thought you were dead.
Mm-hmm.
And this does not seem like Varney. Varney seems like the least like ladder climber in the whole show. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like, oh, he can't have sex with a man and woman. I'm saying, like, he's over here sprung off of you. Like, what are you talking about?
But that's the part that I think is so horrible about this whole storyline that continues on, where they're all like speculating about Varney, and we're supposed to be like, oh yeah, he likes men. Like, I'm watching this like, yeah, it could. I mean, I guess it could have happened, but what? Everyone's talking about this way too much. I feel like Tyler Perry wants us to look at this and be like, no, that man is gay. Like, flash forward to this.
He's got to be gay.
I mean, there's a whole conversation we see later with Horace and Varney, and Horace is like, "Oh yeah, I know you didn't do it. I know you didn't fuck her." And it's like, what? How do you know? Like, is it?
And he even they even have a phone call later too, and Horace is like, I know, because he says
exactly.
I couldn't have done it with Mallory. He's like, and Horace is like, yeah, I know, and Mallory's because I'm such an upstanding citizen or whatever, and then Horace is like, yeah, sure, and then like hangs up, and I'm like, wait, what? Well, Horace says something else like cryptic, like, if you have something to say, just say it. Like,
he said something like, you say a lot even when you're not saying nothing at all.
Yeah, even when you're not talking, even when you're not speaking, you're talking. And I had to rewind. I'm like, what?
What does that even
mean?
Yeah. Stupid. This will now convince Charles to call Mallory and find out on his own. So they meet up for a quick little drink or whatever. And he is very teed up about this whole thing. He's like, so you sleeping with Varney? Yes or no? And she's like, no, why would I do that? And he's like, so you are. So you agree. You're sleeping with Varney. She's like, no, still not. He's like, okay, cool. Because I didn't think you were anyway. She's like, really? Because it seems like it bothered you. No, didn't bother me at all. He's very drunk. Very drunk. The whole time this is happening. He not? Yeah, he is wasted. But the whole time this is happening, we haven't talked about them at all. But Calvin and Jillian are just in the background bickering the entire time. What is the story here, Mari? What is going on with these two people?
Exactly. Like, what? Why do we need this?
Waste.
We do not need another couple in the background. Oh, I fucking hate you so much. You shut up. You
Shut the fuck
you
up.
shut
You
up and
shut up.
stay in
Shut
here.
up. Shut
You
your
shut. You shut the fuck up.
You shut up. You shut up. You
shut
shut
up.
up.
Back and forth. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Like Calvin and Jillian apparently dated in part 1, we find out, and then
Yeah.
but then Jillian throws herself at Roy. Calvin gets mad. Calvin's with Mallory, and Jillian's like, "See, she don't want you no more. She playing with you. She
He like,
she
shut
has
up.
me in
You
the
shut
car."
up. You shut up, stupid. You shut up.
She's
Like,
like,
that's all
she's like, I'll make your life miserable. He's like, well, do it then. People who
Do
go,
it.
Yeah.
they don't say it, they do it. And she's like, I
Yeah.
will. Fine, then you do it.
Fine. Do it.
Man, if Jillian got killed off here, I would have been shocked.
There was this one moment between Calvin and Mallory I have to highlight. She was telling him, you know, here are your orders. You need to go follow Roy around. Make sure we have eyes on him. This, that, and other. This is prior to him obviously getting speared through the window. And Calvin is pushing back. He's like, no, I'm not doing that for you. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, no, I'm not doing that for you. She's like, yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Okay, well, here, cry your eyes out with this. And he hands her her panties.
Oh my god,
here.
yeah.
Use these to wipe your tears. Now,
First of
I don't know
all,
why, but he did it. It happened.
in that glass office too, of all places.
Yeah. Everyone can see it.
Which and then all of part 1, it like built up to them like having sex stuff, and they did it like once, and then they stopped. Like then she was mad at him for the rest of part 2, which I still don't. Why was she mad at him again?
I think that's just their interaction. Is it like,
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you too. Well, here are panties. Well, have sex with me. Okay, cool. You know.
But it's not I hate you. I hate you. It's you want to be dominated. No, I don't. Yes, you do.
Yes,
all right,
you
let's
do.
have sex.
Yeah, exactly. This time they couldn't get any momentum because, you know, again, prior to Roy getting pushed out the window, he was really on the hunt for who this could be that's possibly having sex with Mallory. Now he's asked Calvin, he's looked Calvin directly in the eyes several times and been like, do you know who my wife is having sex with? I'm like, hey, Roy, come on. It's right there. It's right there. If Johnny had 2 apples, you know, but somehow he landed on Barney. And so, yeah, we don't get a lot from Calvin and Jillian, except that I guess they're both kind of jilted at this point. There is another moment where I think Mallory puts Jillian out on the side of the road and just tells her to find her way home.
Yes. I was like, what? I was like, this is an HR violation. Like, she just get the fuck out.
You think they have HR? Wow. Okay.
I know, wow, right. Oh my god. And there are so many F-bombs. Guys, we're using F-bombs because there's so many in this show.
Oh my
like
gosh.
every other word is F this, F that, F this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So after Mallory and Charles leave the strip club, I think this it takes us back to this is right around the time Kimmy is flipping the car. Okay, so we're all over the place, but we've landed on the same spot. She flips the car, she ends up stealing it, and we're on the hunt for Kimmy. And also Mallory's on the hunt for this mystery woman who Roy is having sex with, because you know, underreported story, Mallory's still mad from like episode 2 when Roy was having sex with some unknown whore who called her phone. Turns out that's Kimmy. She doesn't know it, but she's like, what is she, the Loch Ness monster? You can't find her. Nobody could seem to find or lay eyes on Kimmy now that she has flipped the car. Jules even has to leave his daughter's birthday party. Now we found out Jules has a wife and a child, that he's just like living the wholesome family life, Matt, on the other side of all of this drama.
Oh my god. And the best part of it is that, you know, the daughter comes up, it's like, Daddy, why are you leaving me? the wife is like, you should hope you can have a man who works as hard as your dad does. And it's like, what?
And why did I have to Google to see if that was Shar Jackson? Did that not look like Shar Jackson?
I don't think that looked like Shar Jackson.
No.
She's like a foot taller than Shar Jackson, probably.
Yeah. Wait, but
yeah.
My favorite thing about that scene is because Jules says, yeah, honey, I gotta provide for the family. Also, ain't it getting late for this birthday party? Shouldn't you be wrapping this up? And she goes, Daddy, it's a slumber party. He's like, oh, never mind. I'm about to tell them kids to go home. So So obviously he's on the case. Charles comes bopping into the strip club per usual, doing his normal thing. Angel and that other stripper Dustin are there, and they see him coming through. And this is where Charles is kind of on a rampage, trying to find out, who's the little bitch who stole my car. Well, he's dead now, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And he tells Dustin, if you want to die too, you could try to steal my Bentley. And so there was a moment where Dustin is still trying to seduce Charles so he can rob him, but I think Charles' exact words were, "Bitch, be gone."
Yeah. Why was I semi-proud about Charles not falling into this trap though? I was
because you should be. Because this is the bars in hell, Mari.
It is. He clearly was like, you normally don't give me the time of day. Get out of here. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't mind the trap just for another plot line.
Okay.
Yeah, for the plot.
That's why. Yeah. You're watching it for the plot, and it's all in the strip club.
Yeah, that's me.
This is when Angel sees in the back room. There's this woman who's being shuffled around. She's got this wig on. Who is this new stripper lady? Turns out it's Sylvie. We found Sylvie. She's in full stripper garb, and she's about to hit the stage, but Angel has to rescue her and hides her in the closet. What's up, Matt?
Which, by the way, I don't think the stage would be a bad place for her to be.
Right, like, very public.
In front of all the people.
Her. Yeah.
Yeah, what? He freaked out a little bit too quick there.
And then he throws her in the closet and like, stay here for the whole night. You don't think
I gotta go back to work?
Yeah,
like, Angel, I think you gotta clock out, babes. Yeah. I think you gotta take the kid and go. I think it's all right. We about to go outside real quick. I'm about to sober her up. Get in the Uber and never look back.
And he was barely getting paid with that.
He doesn't make any money. He's in debt.
Oh, yeah. Like, what the hell? You saw what he's wearing, too. Sir.
This is the board shorts. Like, oh my God.
So bad.
By now, Mallory has found her way to the hotel room for Roy. Downstairs in the lobby, though, the lady who at the hotel, she was very happy to see Mallory. She's like, girl, you're the girl from the perm box? What's up? I've been wearing your pants for 20 years. They say you give people cancer, but I'm fine.
Cut to.
Like, are you? No, said, I can't. I'm just gonna say I can't wait until season 2 when it turns out all of them have cancer from the product.
Like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is where they discover Roy has fallen out of the window. Now, they initially think he's jumped. They think he has just got a running start and just thrown himself through the glass window, I'm assuming, or broke the window and then jumped.
I think they thought he was like high and it happened.
Oh, they thought this was a coke fueled jump. Calvin springs into action. I'm talking about running down the hall, shuffles down the stairs, gets to him. He's checking the pulse. He's like, okay, call an ambulance. Mallory is still on the 39th floor looking down like, boy, stop playing. I'm finna take him to the hospital.
Yeah. She's like, no. He's like, wait, call the ambulance. She said, I said no. And she was like, and then she said, like, I wish he was dead. Or like,
right.
Yeah.
He has been laying there in that same exact spot for at least 4 hours.
Okay. Did he land like that? Like back, head, all of it? First?
I don't know. He has been laying in that spot this whole time.
Where's his concussion?
So technically, if it's only like one floor, they made it seem to me, they made it seem like one floor. Chappell said it looked like it was at least 3.
It looked like 2 to 3. They were big floors.
If it's 2 to 3,
okay,
3 like 30 feet. That's like dying range. Anything less than 30 feet is like severely crippled range.
I love how you know this.
Yeah,
she's a doctor.
Like, not a doctor, but in the medical field.
Close enough.
So
closest out of all of us.
When he fell on that, I was like, okay, he's not dead, but like, and then they're like, she's like, get him to the car. Again, Calvin proceeded to grab him up. You are never supposed to move somebody with a fall without a straight training board. And then not only that, why didn't he take the elevator? Like cameras? I don't know, but like he then ran him down 38 flights of steps. If anything was wrong with him. You just made it worse. But I loved how Calvin pointed
Yeah.
that out in the car once they got into the car.
Yeah.
Like, Calvin was like, he could be really hurt. Like, we shouldn't have moved him. I was like, thank you, Calvin. I appreciated that.
I believe Mallory's response was, "He lucky I don't stop and get my nails done." She didn't care about nothing you talking about.
Meanwhile, like Roy is there, and they're like, he might be dead, but meanwhile, he's like grimacing. Like you see, this man is still alive, and she's talking all of the shit in the world. We love to see it. Love to see it. She just can't even take that moment to like take a break, take a pause, look at her phone, like. Oh, just
Yeah.
digging it in. That was rough. They should have thrown him in the trunk, though. To be honest,
Calvin was like, we got to get him to the hospital. She's like, why are you driving
Why do you
so
care?
fast?
Right. What's
So
going
why
on?
are you driving so fast? Like, we got to get him to the hospital. She said, slow down.
Yeah, I mean, because the drug use would be a problem, right? If they think that he jumped out the window and basically took himself out in a drug-fueled stupor, then yeah, I think his inheritance is starting to get like screwed up.
Another layer of the will. If you are a drug addict, then you don't get the shares. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Who wrote this?
Right.
Papa, very specific, very specific. Yeah. So when we find out that Roy is alive and that they are taking him to the hospital, Kimmy is busy telling Horace that Roy is dead and that she killed him. She's like,
Literally
yeah.
at the same time.
She says, I killed Body. He's like, what Body? She's like, I killed a person named Body. I killed Delinda. And also, I pushed Roy out the window hours ago. He's probably good and dead now. And so I know that Roy is just sitting here thinking, like, what the hell? Like, how is this? I'm sorry, not Roy. Horace is sitting here thinking, what the hell? How did Roy end up dead? But that's okay, because Roy actually is at the hospital. Mallory has arrived just in time. So again, all this is happening simultaneously. Kimmy's like, I killed Roy. Also, he's here. So Horace's advice to Kimmy was, if you're gonna kill a motherfucker, then do it.
Right.
I'm kind of with Horace. How you miss? You knocked this man through the window and he lived?
I mean, he should have been dead. What was she gonna do? Dead. Run down and then just throw him off the balcony?
Well,
she could have.
She should have done something, because he's here and he's coherent enough to actually tell his story a bit. He has a full-on conversation with his dad. Now, Matt, what did you think about this conversation between these two loved ones?
Oh, God, man, that guy's way too coked up / on pain pills. Like, that made I was just looking at him like, how is he alive? What is going on? So the conversation should have been happening. I have to say though, I love Mallory in this moment. Mallory with her power moves as Roy's trying to get out of this hospital and all. That was like a lovely scene. But what this family is so messed up, and all these other people have to witness their drama
again.
Yeah,
a whole like, you shut the fuck up. And she's like, my husband is a drug addict, like saying all this stuff to the doctor, fighting the doctor. And he's like, why are you saying this for the doctor? She's like, because of HIPAA. She's like, she can't say none of it. I
was like, I don't think that's how that works. Personally.
It's not, because I mean, well, Mallory's kind of smart, because she did like threaten like some healthcare information. Like, technically the doctor can't tell them that he's a drug addict, but she can't be like, they came in here and they was fighting.
But I feel like that's not their problem. Like, they're they're the family you can't mess with. Like, you can't do anything to them because they're in charge of the hospital. They own the wing of the hospital.
They do. Yeah.
Well, they thought they did. Horace is going to make sure that he knows who's in charge of the hospital very quickly after this. He has this conversation with Roy, and this is kind of messed up. He's telling Roy, you're a wicked son of a bitch. And he's like, Roy's kind of like, Dad, I hate you. He's like, I hate you too. And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, you need to tell me the truth. They said, I fell down. He's like, you didn't fall down. Someone pushed you, didn't you? No, I didn't fall down. You've been on drugs. No, I haven't. It's like, you tried to take your life again, didn't you? Like you have 3 other times when you were 8.
Yeah.
When you were 11. I was like, oh my God.
Right? I'm like, wait a minute. No. Yeah, this doesn't look good for you, sir. Don't bring it up. Don't bring that up. Come on. He's like 30 something now. I don't know.
That's you. That's your fault as a parent.
Yeah. Right. Not great.
And then they start
They
getting into a scuffling match.
they fight. They literally fight while Roy is in bed. Roy is in bed and Horace is hitting him with his cane the whole time. And somehow Roy wins the fight from the bed. Like, he like grabs the cane, like, get off me. I just hope you die and leave my family alone. And Horace vows that Roy will regret the day that he dies. And so we're
Just
gonna
kill
find out.
him.
And mind you, Roy was just begging the doctor for more pain meds because his body is so used to the pain meds because he's so high on opioids. That when he leaves, Roy leaves out this hospital with a limp, just a limp.
Yeah,
like again, he should have broken bones, and
lacerations.
Rain been in the hospital all week on some ass shots, and this man fell out of a skyscraper. It is okay.
That part. Because what?
We ain't even gonna talk about the fact that Kimmy has gotten no medical care from flipping a car over, but we'll get to.
I mean, she's taken a lot of hits this whole time.
Kimmy has been going through, and she's fine. So bounce back. But Matt, the conversation you're talking about with Roy and Mallory, yeah, it's very interesting because he wants her to leave. He's just like, go away. You don't like me. I don't like you. Why are you here? She's like, no, I think I'll stay. And she waits until the nurse or the doctor comes, and she makes sure to announce on record, my husband is addicted to drugs. You should not be giving him those drugs. If you are, you should know that he's an addict, and she can't take this nowhere because of HIPAA, but you need to know. It's like she really wants to punish him. She wants this woman to basically question giving him these meds, even though he's in pain. And then eventually she just leaves because she just did that enough to torture this man, her husband that she so-called loves. But when she does leave,
yes, please.
Roy looks over at the doctor and says, "Man, marriage, isn't this crazy? You're married, right? You have a husband?" And she says, "Oh, I have a wife." And Mari, what does Roy say back?
He said, "Ew, gross." He said, "Ew, that's gross."
That's gross.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I was like,
what are we doing?
Was this improv? Like, what was that?
You did not write that
improv. You did not write that into the script.
That was in the script, I'm sure. My God, what? Tyler Perry, please. No, she should have killed him right there, honestly. That would have been a plot twist.
The doctor? It wouldn't be the first time a doctor's killed somebody.
Yeah. Just like, down with homophobia, and she stabs him in the...
Here's some blood clots.
He honestly probably would survive anything she did to him after all that.
Yeah, but Mallory stole his phone on the way out, and she is now trying to figure out again, who is the whore? Nobody will tell her. Eventually she calls Charles, and he said he's headed to the club. So Calvin, the bodyguard, needs to guard her body and take her to the club as well. Varney is getting calls left and right because he's been informed by Horace he needs to bring in a judge and a legal team because Horace is going to meet with all of them. And this is when he talks about the affair. He asks if he's spoken to Roy about it. He's like, hey, Horace, just so you know, there's a rumor going around that me, Varney, is having sex with Mallory, and you have to know that that's not happening. And Horace basically says, Varney, stop playing. I know you know.
Yeah.
Varney, come on. Varney, please. You're not.
Again, why? Why are we doing this?
And we get no evidence of this from Horace, right? We don't see why Horace knows this about Varney. Horace is just kind of like, clock. You know, like
yeah. Takes on to no one.
Yeah.
So Roy is mad at Kimmy because she pushed her through the window. Mallory is mad at Kimmy because she's the other whore and doesn't know about it. And Jules is trying to get Roy to relax. Obviously, Roy is not going to relax. I'm kind of team Roy on this one. Someone pushed me through the window. I don't really want to hear a lot of like, calm down. We'll figure it all out. Like, nah, I kind of need to push her through a window too. Like, we need to eye for an eye, you know, that kind of thing.
But no, like, how much is that? That would suck. Get pushed out that window again. Like, once but twice. Oh man. See again, season 2. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm ready. That's just his. That's his plot. Every season he falls out of a window, survives.
Yes. Ooh. So Jules has agreed to let Mallory have her own crack at Kimmy, and then to bring her to Roy, who will then, I guess, continue to punish her for her fault. So now Mallory is even on the hunt for Kimmy. All she knows is her name, so she has to get to the club and find her. Now, her sister, Sylvie has been getting passed around, obviously, from person to person. I think Angel has her at some points. She's hiding in the closet. Angel gets he gets ambushed because they're starting to find out that maybe Angel is doing some things behind the scenes. But eventually, Mallory gets to the club, and this is when it's all the hell starts to break loose. Right? She's looking for the woman, but sitting with Charles, she's never going to find her because Charles is looking at the men. And so some man even tried to walk up and tip Mallory. I thought that was very funny. He just like hands her a stack of money and she looks at him like, ugh. Ew, that's gross.
Like I'm a stripper here. Like, what is happening?
Fully dressed. And so Kimmy and Horace link up, and everyone's been telling her, like, hey, you need to start trusting Horace. You need to start trusting Horace. Angel's not picking up the phone because he's on stage dancing, even though you can tell his heart ain't in it because he's just not dancing well. And he sneaks off the stage and tells Kimmy that, hey, I have Sylvie and you need to make your way this way. So everyone is moving toward the strip club. Yeah. One thing about Horace, though, he be moving broke too much, and I don't like that. Matt, when his whole plan here is to go and rescue Sylvie, right? So he has to pay to get behind the club. This is where the nefarious acts go down. So he has like pay the toll to get to the back. And they're like, that'll be $500. He's like, $500?
600.
Yeah. And he's like, 600. He's like, well, last time it was 5. Like, yeah, well, it's 600. He said, well, what are you looking for? Something young. Oh, that's going to cost you $1,000. $1,000? I was like, Horace. Horace.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, that's how he keeps his money.
He's worth $376 million, and he's wearing $1 million watch. One of that million is just dedicated to his watch. Remember?
It adds up. It adds up. If he had 300 watches, then where's his money? Plus, let's remember that's his net worth. We don't know how much he actually has in the bank. He might only have like $100 million in the bank. His liquid assets, right, Mari?
Yeah.
Yeah. Calvin is so drunk at the club that Mallory's finally like, we got to drag him away. Dustin is there, the stripper. He's still trying to rob Charles on the low. Like, hey, can I get your number? Charles is not having it. And this is when Felicia really steps. What'd you say?
He considered it for a second.
I mean, Dustin was being so pushy though. At this point, like he's like, here, damn. Felicia, we haven't talked about Felicia in a while. She's back and she has stepped into the bottom bitch status. Per her words, Jules' word, not mine. And she is very happy to take money to throw Kimmy under the bus.
And a lot of other places.
Mallory asked her, like, hey, here's $1,000. What can you tell me? And she's like, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. You want a picture of her? And she shows her a picture of Kimmy and everything. While this whole scam is happening to get Sylvie out the back door, Felicia ends up taking her out there because she doesn't know that Horace is in on it. And she doesn't know who Horace is. Nobody knows that Horace is the missing part of this puzzle piece, except for Kimmy, who's outside, and Angel, who is trapped on the inside. And so when Felicia brings Sylvie outside to be with Horace, she says, I know you old daddies like when they pretend to be hurt. So she pretended to be hurt.
Yeah.
And he gives her the phone, and Kimmy finally says Horace is there to help her. And so now Horace has Sylvie. Kimmy's on the phone. They all know where the bodies are, but Kimmy needs a plan. She has to figure out a way to get Horace out of there with Sylvie. And so she decides to drive the stolen car through the back gate of the strip club, forcing all the cars to be in disarray. Horace can then drive out and they can get away. And that happens almost flawlessly, except Kimmy does not get away.
she stops the car.
She gets dragged out the car. And here she is. We have captured Kimmy at the start of episode 15. By this time, Norman knows that
less than 24 hours. Okay.
This is all that happens, y'all. By this time, Norman and Olivia both know that people have been lying about who exactly killed Norman's wife. Of course, she does tell Norman that, hey, for the rest of our lives. We will be at odds, but that's neither here nor there. Angel gets out of the closet in the club, and Dustin like tells her, "Hey, we got to get out of here." In the club, Jules is throwing Kimmy around like a rag doll, per usual, but it's her fault. She's walked into the lion's den, and here's what's going to happen. She's going to get her ass beat. But Kimmy says, "Hey, I know that it's not just any old man in the truck, but I can't tell you who it is." And they're like, "No, who's the old man? I can't tell you." And so Felicia, in her sweetest taboo era, just pieces Kimmy up. I'm talking about
not the face.
The hell out of Kimmy. Not the face. She got a couple licks in on the face. But she's beating Kimmy's ass because Kimmy will not reveal the identity of Horace. Why won't Kimmy just say, "I know who Horace is"? I just feel like that would save her.
I think she likes being beat up a little bit at this point.
Maybe I just don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt?
Not the real line.
I mean, he was a bar.
I don't know if that would have been such a get out of jail free card. So I mean, it works out eventually, you know.
Well, here's my counter argument to that, Mari. Horace then shows up. And guess what? Everybody stops hitting Kimmy. He said, "All right, let her go." Why could you just say, "I know Horace, he's on the way"?
Like, that was way too easy.
Nope.
It's like, "Okay, Kimmy, you can leave now."
Kimmy, you can go. Angel, you can go too.
Bye.
Yeah. And he tells the henchman to get on and go too. And he dismisses everybody. And it turns out that, Horace is in charge here, right? He now knows that Jules is in on this sex trafficking and stuff like that. Jules tries to lie and say, "Oh, no, I was just trying to beat Kimmy ass because she pushed Roy out the window." Horace is like, "I don't even like Roy. That's stupid. It's just shenanigans." So, obviously, Kimmy is taken off. She has her sister with her. You would think it's about happily ever after, but Kimmy has the worst sister in the world. When I tell you, Sylvie is the most annoying person that I have come across in this entire show, because how are you going to be having on your moral high horse? This woman just saved you from being sex trafficked, and you like, "I know you didn't just lie. Lying is where you tell a lie. Mom said you said you went to be a nurse and you're a stripper. I don't like that, girl. You could have died today. You could have been sold into sex slavery, and you are on this girl's ass about lying about being a nurse. Make it make sense."
Why is everybody so mad about this lie? Like, get over it.
Big lie. Get over it.
How about we just respect Tyler Perry, that sex work is real work? How about that?
Sylvie's got a lot going on. This lady is high as a kite. Sylvie is high as a kite. She's a little girl, but they've injected her with all kinds of stuff. And she's a little drowsy, but she is the first person who notices that her and Kimmy are driving around in a stolen car with a man in the back seat. So she keeps talking about this old man. She's like, the old man. And sadly, Kimmy and Rain have been calling Horace the old man for so many episodes that that's the only old man they know. When in reality, there is a dead white gentleman in the back seat, just
with his eyes wide open,
just laying there, making eye contact with Sylvie.
That was scary. I did feel bad for Sylvie.
And she's like, he's looking at me. He won't stop looking. Kimmy's like, please, sir. And Kimmy is just going with it. Like, Kimmy should be on an improv troupe at this point, because she was perfect in this moment. And she never realizes that the man is in the back seat.
No.
That's beautiful.
Nor does she care. She just keeps telling Sylvie, "Girl, shut up. That's not old man. Stop playing. You must be high, girl. Get it together. I'll take you to the hospital."
I mean, yeah, but
yeah. Eventually, Sylvie. Eventually, eventually, Kimmy does see that there really is an old man in the back. But what does Kimmy do with this information? Nothing. She just parks the car and takes her sister to the hospital and goes and sits at Horace's bedside, like everything is okay. Like, first, her, Rain, and Angel link up in the hospital. They chopping it up like everything's normal. Look at us. We made it this far. They're having a good moment. This is the first time the three of them have been together in a good way in a while. Then she goes to Horace's room, where Horace is like, "Hey, by the way, I'm about to die. We saw Horace leaving the strip club in a very bad way, Matt. He pissed on himself and pretty much turned into a statue."
Yeah. Out of nowhere. Because maybe he did overexert himself a bit over the
It was a
last
lot.
5
Oh.
episodes. But like he didn't even cough once. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Like no coughing blood.
He had lung cancer. Yeah, lung cancer. Okay, yeah. I was trying to
But
remember
like,
what he was dying from. Yeah, I remember now.
yeah, but that it really hit him pretty fast.
Yeah, he just
yeah.
stopped. He was just like, I thought I was like, at least they got him to the hospital because I really thought when he had stopped there in the strip club that they were gonna touch him and he was gonna like fall over.
Fall over and be dead.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he survived it, but he is on the way out. Angel
Mhm.
sees on the television that there's this woman whose car was stolen, and in that stolen car there was her father or a gentleman. I think it was father, and
Mhm.
he is the dead gentleman that is in the back of Kimmy's car. What's up, Matt?
But they added some detail about it.
It was
What
the
were they saying? They're like,
backstory.
"Oh, he's the father of like some mafia boss who just got out
Yeah.
on parole or whatever, whatever." And I'm like, I didn't even have time to pause and go
Season
back because
two.
I was like,
Season 2.
we'll
Yep.
come back to it. We'll come back to
Season
it.
2. So all this
Guess
happened on.
so.
This man is just in the back seat of the char in the car. Kimmy is acting like she does not care at all.
Mhm.
But it's very clear that jail is in their futures. Rain says she's never going to go
Yeah.
back to jail. She's like, it's not happening. The next day, Mallory and Jules talk. Bernie shows up and finds Charles on the floor, passed out from that night at the strip club. He tells Charles that he needs to do something about what his father is going to do, but Charles just wants to go sleep. He doesn't really care about what Barney's got going on. He also talks to Mallory and Horace, and he's really trying to get everybody to understand that Horace is about to do, I'm sorry, Norman. And he's telling them, like, hey, Horace is about to do something. He's about to do something.
Mhm.
He's assembled a legal team. They're all meeting up the next morning. We got to do something. Mallory says, that's cool. I'm going to pop up. When Mallory shows up with the legal team is already in there. I love this moment. I screamed. The legal team is in there waiting. Horace, of course, we know is in the hospital, but she doesn't know that. She comes in with a bowl of lemons and says, hello, father. I just come from the garden with these lemons. I said, Mallory, first of all, lemons grow on trees. Number one, why do you have a lemon garden? And she says, I just bought this bowl of lemons at the store. Hello, father. I have bought you this bowl of lemons. Oh, the legal team is here. Like, Mallory, please.
But the effort.
He's not
effort.
there. He's not there. They think that he's going to do something with the will, but he is not even there. He's at the hospital. And so he tells Barney, have all the legal team now come to the hospital. So they do. Yeah, they all go to the hospital. So now everybody, the hospital is the new epicenter for whatever is about to go down. We find out from Horace in his conversation with Kimmy, he finally tells her, look, I'm dying. And in my death, I think that like I shouldn't leave it to my family. I hate them. I hate them all. I want to leave it to you, Kimmy. I want you to have the money. And this is Matt. Early on, you said that you really had an issue with the theme of this show being that Rain once said that Kimmy, you and I will always be hoes. Stop trying not to.
Thank you. I think about that. I think about that all the time.
Did that cross your mind here when Kimmy was offered to be a wife for hire?
Yes, it did. Every time I see Rain, I'm like, wow, look at you, Rain. You didn't even think you thought you'd be hoes forever in your words. But you're not. I mean, well, never mind.
Well, Matt, Kimmy has a lot of questions about this. She wants to know why.
What a mess.
Rain has no questions about this. I think Rain's only question was, did he ask you to sign a prenup? Okay, girl, then let's go. Let's go get this money. She got out of bed and everything. She started dancing around like Charlie Bucket's dad. Like, his grandpa. I said, this woman can walk now, can't she?
Oh, man.
She
what
cured.
A mess, though.
Those blood clots went away.
But I also just have to call out Horace for a second too with this, because he's talking with Kimmy and he was like, he literally called his kids he's like, they're all fucking losers. And I'm like, you're the one who spoiled them. What are we doing? Come on.
Mm.
What are we doing, sir? So, but Rain, look, I'm just happy for Rain because Rain's been the most helpful. She's the hero, honestly.
Is she?
From her hospital
Yeah.
bed.
That woman did nothing all season. She did nothing. She did nothing. Kimmy knocked the man through a window. Rain has laid on her ass, or at least on her side, for 8 episodes at the very least. She doesn't get no credit from me. But
Wow.
Kimmy does have a few questions, Mari. She's like, all right, if I get married to you and I get all this money, who gonna protect me? What is Jules gonna say? Is Jules going to shut this down? But Horace says, nah, Jules has a wife and a kid, and he's a pillar of the community. He would never blow his spot like that. And although Kimmy has murdered a couple people, we could probably slip that under the radar. We don't have to worry about the will.
Yeah, I was like, yes, money. But however, do you really want to have to deal with all of these people? All these crazy people? I was debating. I really was like 376 million. Deal with this crazy ass family.
Yeah, do the math.
300. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's tough. But like, here's the thing: if she doesn't do it, she's still gonna have to deal with this crazy ass family. You think she's done? She's not out. You know what I'm saying? It's like her and Angel just gonna go. Her, Angel, and Rain gonna go live happily ever after with Sylvie.
You're right.
Working at the Sack and Save. Like, I don't really know where to go after this. So she does tell the nurse at some point, like, hey, I need more information. I need information on Horace. And they're like, we can't really let you. She's like, well, I'm his fiance. I'm getting married to him. So it works. The nurse is like, all right, well, I'll go get you.
Chappell, she literally said, my last name is Belleray. It will be. Like, she got so fancy all of a sudden. Like,
and the nurse is like, oh, Miss Belleray. Oh my God, I'm sorry. My bad. I'll get out of your way, ma'am. And
wait,
this is when.
Yes. Yeah, please keep going. I think maybe we're getting to where.
This is when awful ass Sylvie is like, wait a minute. Did you just lie to that nurse? Yes. Well, you need to stop that. Well, why? Because you said you were a nurse and you're a stripper. She's like, yes, but you're not a nurse. You've been in jail and you've been stripping. Kimmy's like, but I'm about to get us a lot of money and save our lives. And she goes, leave me alone. And she said, I will never. She said, I can't make you. She said, you can't. She said, I can save you. She said, by stripping. Well, girl, what do you want?
If you don't shut up.
What do you want? You want them to save you from being sex trafficked or not? Like, what is it?
Yeah, too many questions. But this whole thing is happening while Kimmy is wearing the trench coat and the black hat that Angel gave her.
She's in disguise. She kidnapped the mob boss.
What the hell? Yeah.
Which is bad for Angel because he went out to the car and got arrested for the murder of this man, which is crazy.
Poor Angel.
Yeah, poor Angel. Olivia gets hemmed up by Lena. We haven't really talked about Lena at all. She's the lawyer who was apparently trying to settle this case. Well, the thing is, and I said this last time, but we really have to stop down on it. Lena is crooked too. She wants to find a settlement somewhere in here for apparently a class action lawsuit against $1 billion hair care product company. If she cared at all about the people, she would not be trying to settle this hard. This lady is trying to get cut off or broken off a little money, and she goes to Olivia to start her shakedown. Now, she didn't know Debbie Morgan was batshit crazy.
But why was Olivia even in the hospital?
She was giving a tour to her church group, apparently.
Did we know this was going to happen earlier?
No, we didn't know. She just happened to be here doing normal church activities. They also had the church choir singing in the hospital, too, at some point. It was very weird.
This little one in mine.
But Lena shows up, and she has questions for Olivia. She's like, hey, you're being served. And she serves her papers right in front of people. Olivia dismisses the church folks, and then she smacks the hell out of her. I'm talking about slaps this lady dead in the face in a hospital full of cameras with witnesses around. And Lena's like, I'm going to sue you. And so she slaps her again. 10 million. Slaps her again. 20 million. And then finally Lena gets fed up and she hits her back. Now, I have a grandmother who is of a certain age. I have a mother who's of a certain age. I have honestly older cousins of a certain age. Hell, me. I'm of a certain age. I could not Photoshop or digitally alter footage as quickly as Olivia does in this moment. She grabs her phone and basically pulls the Ring doorbell footage and it just crops it to make it look like she's attacked by Lena in the hallway.
I
It says,
mean,
"You young
we
bitches don't know old school games."
What? How do you do that? Did you
we
have like
struggle to get clips of this podcast out,
We
let
do not
alone
do shorts.
let alone she just like astounding.
yeah? Maybe she has like
CapCut wig.
Opus cut,
Yeah.
cap cut, Opus cut. Just like boop, 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 boop. AI, thank you. But it's hilarious to me that Norman's getting tricked by an AI video, and then meanwhile you have Olivia over here like full on editing whiz. Wow, she
Yeah,
should add that to her
creative.
LinkedIn. Put that on her
Yeah.
resume.
Right.
Put it in her portfolio.
She doctored that footage so fast. She told her, "You can go after the company. You can even go after my ex-husband, but you're gonna leave me alone." And so she runs Lena off, but not before she notices that Horace is in the other room. And so she tries to force her way in, but Horace is given strict instructions that she will not be allowed in. And in fact, she's going to get kicked out the entire wing of the hospital as the rest of the family shows up. Kimmy is still trying to deal with all of this as well. So she is the one who Horace is talking to. He also has to kind of he has to win over Sylvie as well because she has a lot of questions about this whole thing. Like she wants to know the ins and outs of what Horace's relation. How long have you known my sister? All this other Sylvie, girl,
Shut up.
you was being sex trafficked 2 hours ago, bro. You gotta shut up. You gotta be done with this. This is
Just get in
not.
the corner. Like
She was mad at Kimmy for leaving. You left me with mom and dad. I got raped every day. Did she leave you, or did that woman get dropped off at a Walmart?
That's horrible.
again, yeah, right, exactly.
It just Sylvie's the worst. I'll say it. Sylvie's the worst.
But she, you know what? To be fair, in her defense, somebody needs to be asking questions. Like, not the time, but I'm glad. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Eventually, everybody is drawn to the hospital. Charles gets the call. He drags Roy with him. The entire family is in the hospital, and they are in the lobby, but they can't get in because some woman named Kimmy has got them, like, is in the hospital room with Horace, and they got them all barred from ringside, and so they can't get in there. Rain has realized that $376 million is a lot of money, and we are going through with this marriage. Damn it, Kimmy, shut up and get your ass in there and get married. Mallory can't force her way into the wing, even though the hospital is basically named after them. And so they send Varney in to go and shut everything down. Now, Horace is in there. He's got his camera set up. He's got the lawyers. He's got a notary. He's got a stenographer. He's doing a cognitive test. They're making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted to make sure this marriage goes through the first time. And Barney looks like he saw a ghost when he finds out that Kimmy is going to be the new wife of Horace. Now, he does try to lead her out. I will say this. Barney, for the most part, is kind of like on the level. He's not the most evil person. But he just keeps trying to get Kimmy to go to the lobby. He's like, Kimmy, girl, come, why don't you walk with me over here? She's like, why?
Whose lawyer is he? Like, if he's Horace's lawyer, he's a bad lawyer for Horace.
Yeah, I think he's the family's lawyer.
Yeah,
or maybe,
everyone's
or maybe
lawyer.
he's like Horace's lawyer, but still like the Charles thing. Maybe that's blurring the lines. Maybe.
I don't know. Because he was telling all Horace's business to all these people, and they're supposed to be like attorney-client privileges, right?
Yeah, but they're all his clients, and they're all his, like, what are we doing?
I guess
but we separate clients. We don't even like each other. I guess it's like he's the client of the will, you know, like, or he's like the executor of the estate or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he's probably got to make sure all that goes to the right way.
Yeah, but he's like, if you're Varney, Horace isn't going to be around much longer. Like, let's see. I see what he's doing. He's counting his chicken. Like, he sees all this healthy family. You know, maybe one of them fell out of a window. One of them allegedly got shot up and killed in his Lambo. But like the rest of them are going to live, and he wants to be on their good side.
And they got money. But unfortunately for them, when they finally force their way into the hospital wing and they arrive in the hospital room, they see Horace in bed, but they see standing next to them Charles and Roy's new stepmom, Kimmy. She actually did it. Y'all, Kimmy pulled it off. She's a Bellary.
Stepmom and boss. What?
Is the stepmom and boss, y'all. She did it. We did it, y'all. Kimmy got the money. She did it. We won.
Did we?
I don't
She
want
look
that.
how far we've come from episode 1, where she just wanted to like, oh yeah, I just want to be a mogul
3 days
like
ago.
Beauty and Black, and I want to just be just like Mallory. Now she's Mallory's boss. Cinderella story.
Okay.
Weird.
Well,
You don't want to. Do you really want to be her boss? Like, no. Kimmy, your plan was to get out of here.
I
You could get
mean,
out.
she
You
could
don't need
still
to
get
be
out.
here.
I don't think she has to be here. It's not like Kimmy's going to be running the operations.
She's the
Now-
boss.
Well, I do have questions about what this could possibly mean for season 2. Mari,
Mhm.
Kimmy's in charge. Does that mean this lawsuit that is knocking at their door, does
That's
that mean
what I
this is
was
going to
about to
fall
say.
on Kimmy's doorstep?
that's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, why would you want to be a boss of a company that's about to get hit with a massive like civil lawsuit?
Awkward.
Maybe like Kimmy like comes in and talks Lena down. I don't know, man. Like what I can't we're gonna are you telling me we're gonna go from seeing Kimmy running the streets, shooting people, throwing people out of windows, driving over people, to following her like every day to an office building? Like I'm so confused.
Yeah. Oof. It's gonna get ugly. And I'm ready for it. I'm really ready. Actually, I'm glad because after this season, 16 episode season, God, you know we're gonna get 16 more episodes.
As we should. They need to drop them weekly so we can follow along. You know, like we don't need to do these massive drops. Next question, Matt. Angel is gone. He has been arrested for the murder of this white man.
Oh baby.
Now what?
I'm fine with that. Like he could go. What did he do for? What did any of these people really do for us? I mean, again, I'm here for Rain. Like Rain's my person, the one hero in my book. But
She didn't do a damn thing.
Not a thing.
Angel
Nothing.
was trying. Angel was trying to be helpful. I don't know
He
why
did.
he went
He
back to
was-
that
he was
car. It was a whole
Yeah.
thing. So I'm fine with that. Like Angel, are they gonna try to break Angel out of jail?
I think they have
somehow?
to.
Are they gonna
Well,
pay off?
Or maybe it's his court, like maybe it'll be his trial or something.
I feel like they could pay off the cops. Like Kimmy's gonna be throwing that money around like the Bellary family was, you know? Like
And then
get
Horace
him out.
still got a crush on Angel too. So he's not gonna let his little boo, just ride in jail for this crime that his wife committed.
Horace is gonna be dead. Is Horace?
I mean, we don't know how much time Horace has left. He just kind of
Not a
decided he was
lot.
dying, and that was it. Like he's like, marry me right now. Now, does he make it to season 2, Matt?
Chappell, I think he has one scene. I think he does make it to
You think
season
he's
2.
dead?
He has one scene, and it's over. And you know what? We better pick up right where we left off because I want Rand to still be in that hospital bed, like still
No.
recovering.
No.
Yeah.
If that lady's still laying in the bed, she needs to readjust the current contract
I'll
next
be
season
done.
because
I'll
there's
be
no
done.
way, there's no way that she's still laying in bed after this. Is this the end of the sex trafficking altogether, Mari? How does Kimmy shut this down?
I hope so. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like I hope she shuts it down. Maybe she make it into a restaurant or something. I don't know.
Does this mean Norman and Jules have to go to jail for their crimes? Is Kimmy about to take down
Shut
the
it
rest of the
down.
family from the inside?
Shut it all down.
Shut it down.
I hope
All
so.
of it.
I mean, and then we also have to deal with Olivia not being a part of the family and all that too. So
And Kimmy does have 2 bodies. Kimmy has killed Delinda and Body.
No, she don't. Jules made it go away. Like the police know nothing about those 2 bodies. As we see, what's her name at the strip club don't even know that they did. So
yeah,
don't
I don't know.
nobody.
I just feel like if she's about to try to take down Jules, he has every incentive to be like, "Where's Delinda? Where's Body? Kimmy, are you really going to try to run this company? Because a felony would disqualify her from her earnings as someone who is married now into the will. So." Big questions to answer as we go into season 2, whenever that happens. Matt, what are your final thoughts here on Beauty and Black season 1?
I'm pissed. Because who are we rooting for? Why are we here? I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna.
Who are we rooting for at this point?
I'll be here for 5 seasons. That's my cap.
That's your cap. 5 seasons. I feel obligated to root for Kimmy. and that's that. Kimmy and Rain and Angel. I do feel bad for Angel,
I don't feel bad for Angel.
even
Angel,
though
you
he
did
got
this.
them in
This is
that.
your fault. Yeah, you sex
Yeah,
trafficked the women. Yeah.
so
So no, I was gonna root for Sylvie. I'm kind of rooting. Maybe I'm rooting for the white woman who got her car and her father
Well,
stolen.
definitely rooting for her until we find out like
Yeah.
how tied she is to the mafia, or the mob.
But I'm okay with that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with
I
that.
want to root for Kimmy, but she did kill that man.
which man?
The
Yeah,
man who
which
died in
one?
the backseat that she stole that car from.
He was dead
Oh,
already.
he was
Was he
dying.
dead? That lady was
He was
not driving
dying.
around with a dead body.
He was gonna die.
She killed the Linda body, but they had it coming.
They deserve that.
Wait, well,
Okay,
whose body?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, they killed
What?
both. She killed both of them. They had it coming. I'll give them that. Yeah, I'm Team Kimmy still. I don't care about Rain. She ain't do nothing, and she got Kimmy in a lot of mess too. I'm not really here for Angel, and I hate Sylvie. So hopefully Kimmy figures out a way to navigate her family and her newfound family as we will, go into Beauty and Black season 2 to find out what happens next here. But Matt, I'm sure you will be here with us at that time.
I will. And we're gonna have to figure out what to do in the off season. I think that we need to do Mari. I'm pitching you this for the wrestling kickback. We need to do a Beauty and Black battle royal, simulation somehow. We're gonna call up somebody. I don't know how it's gonna work technically, but Beauty and Black battle royal. Who's gonna win that?
Who's gonna come out on top?
Like, does Kimmy win? Because she took a lot of hits. But
did you see that spear?
I did see that spear.
She's perfect for the ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're committing right now. We're committing to covering Beyond the Gates. So I challenge
we.
How did this turn to Beyond the Gates? We were on Beauty
Who did
and
that?
Black.
Who committed to that?
We did. So just saying, I'm telling our listeners, if you watch this, please go and watch Beyond the Gates and come back for our discussion on that.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you want to see that.
Me and Chappell.
No, let us know. Let me know.
Me and Chappell.
And if you need me to be there,
we might give you a call. We might give you a call.
I don't think I could watch that. I think I need to stay pure in Beauty and Black world.
Until then, Matt, though, where can we find you? What you got going on? What are you working on?
Wow, look at that. You can find me, Matt Scott GW, on all the different platforms, mostly on Blue Sky. You know how it is. You know what? I'm just protecting my peace. Me and Mari are doing the wrestling kickback once a month, having a good time. And I'm just happy out here. I'll let you know if I'm podcasting, putting things out there, but I'm here. I'm ready to podcast about Beauty and Black season 2, despite the trauma. And I'm really happy. I'm going to be cooling off for a while, from all this. So
no baddies Midwest.
Oh no. We got something in store for you. Me and Matt have been in negotiations.
Yeah, maybe we'll do some baddies Midwest coverage.
We'll talk. Baddies East.
Baddies East could be good.
Yeah, something. I don't know. I've never seen the
Southwest.
show, but yeah, is there a Southwest? Who knows?
I'm telling you, the casting specials are the best part.
Maybe we just break down the casting.
Mari, you'll be there.
That is not in my contract. Let's go.
Live. We're gonna watch it live. Actually, we have a sponsorship from Zeus that we want to announce. So Zeus,
if we got
TV,
that sponsorship, listen, I'm selling out, baby. We doing it. We going all in.
Chappell, I hate to break it to you. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot. Mari, wow, nice. Mari. Change your tagline, by the way, on the
Y'all didn't see that?
Mari, what do you have going on?
Well, of course, you can follow me on Blue Sky at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2. Over on Crime Scene Podcast, me and Sarah Carradine. We took a break. We dropped actually a very good episode. It was Matt's first appearance on Crime Scene that we dropped. It was the Gladbeck episode. Yeah. So, but
that's
coming
where you
up,
can find me.
Coming up on Crime Scene, or no, currently on Crime Scene. This week on Crime Scene Pod, you go to crimescenepod.com in order to subscribe. We talked to Chappell about Death by Fame for his 11th appearance officially beating mascot.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
wait. Okay, wait. No. I beat
No,
him to
see
10.
how no, but baby, see yours was a re-release just now. They just like playing your old stuff, reheating your nachos, if you will. I
Uh,
was on crime scene and I was
Jonesy.
in the true crime documentary. So like, we're not the
Yeah,
same.
but I
We're
mean,
not
I
the
made it to 10.
same.
I made it to 10 first. I
Yeah,
crossed the
but then
finish
I was
line
on the
first.
documentary. Like it's
Yeah, but
about me. Go listen to the
nobody cares
episode
about
that's about me.
11. Yeah,
Mm.
whatever, Chappelle. No one.
People at
I'm not.
10 don't care about 11 because
You were kind of nice. Like, it was nice. I don't do documentaries like
did
that.
you
I
watch
don't. I
my
don't.
big break? Did
Of
you watch
course, I
mine?
did watch your
I know
big
you
break.
did. You a
I
fan.
did.
Get
I
into it.
did. Yeah, of course. I've Max
Yeah, you
for a
see
couple
it.
months, so I was there.
Chappelle was a talking head on Death by Fame season 3, episode 7, and he was
Yeah.
kind enough to sit down and talk to me and Sarah about it. So it was very fun. So go check that out. Again, crime SEEN pod.com. Subscribe there. Married at First Sight is wrapping up. I will be finishing up coverage with Jason and Asia next week.
Ooh.
So I mean, we gotta say farewell to a very good season 18 of Married at First Sight. So you can go to firstsightpod.com in order to subscribe there. That's all for me right now.
Chappelle.
All right. And to find more from me, of course, you got to follow on social media at Recap Kickback, wherever you get your podcast, wherever you get your social media platforms, whatever they are, youtube.com/at Recap Kickback. And I guessed it on the Scenario Radio Show, hosted by Van Everett. They talked about it had been 30 years, y'all, since the iconic movie Friday. And so I got to go and give my insight on one of the most historic movies of my time, for sure, historic Black movie. So go check that out, The Scenario. It was so much fun. I always love talking to them. They've only talked to me twice, but I'm like trying to talk to me more. Talk to me more. Go check out The Scenario, please, and let them know that I sent you. It was a fun talk about Friday, one of my favorite movies for sure. And then, of course, catch me on RHAP doing all those other shenanigans. And then me and Gia here on Recap Kickback talking about Abbott Elementary and trying to plan our next Brant Steele for the Black cartoon characters because we're doing it big.
I've been trapped behind Swall Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreamers. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.